Yeah, man. What I
That's
was
hot
saying,
shit
man.
right there,
You know what I'm
man.
saying? So what we gonna do? We gonna do.
We want you to be an activist. And don't take our word for it. Look that shit up. Pulley. Video. What it say, Tyler? This is Tyler Perry tweet. One man standing on two words, kill everybody. This new Kendrick Lamar album is ministering to my soul. You, sir, continue to reaffirm your genius. But somebody should have warned me about Mother I Sober. Tears. I was checking it out. It just dropped. I was checking it out a bit. I'm gonna check it out some more. Really, you gotta listen to his stuff. You can't just. This says, in the Republican primary for Pennsylvania open Senate seat, Kathy Burnett, black mother of two, who has never held office and whose life story has moved many white anti-abortion conservatives, poses a late threat to the two presumptive favorites. That's interesting. The emergence of the black Republicans. Let's see, does it have a article? Yes, it does. Let's read this article. Kathy Burnett's. What he said, I have always given a potted flower on Valentine's Day. If the chicks didn't get it, then there would not normally be a second Valentine. Yeah, man, I hope they fucking get it. Man, me and you, Doc, we got some weird things in common. Because it's not really normal. Like, I think most people just do the flowers, but I hate to see it. I used to do it all the time when I was younger, but I've gotten older now. I feel like when you know better, you do better. He says, Boeing makes 90% of commercial planes. Yeah, but don't they make military stuff too? Let's go to this Kathy Barnett's article. Because it's interesting. The emergence of the damn identity politics on both sides. That's the dominant political scheme or schematic, whatever I'm trying to say. Saying three words at once. Can y'all get this off of my screen? Thank you. Okay. In Pennsylvania, a hard right candidate star rises. So who's writing this? Let's see. Kevin, you sent me something. Kevin Burnett for Senate.com. I got a notification on my phone and the screen, like at the same time. In Pennsylvania, a hard right candidate star rises. Donald Trump says she can't win in November, but Kathy Burnett is pressing toward Tuesday's voting. They're coming out with long knives at this point, she said. So this is, oh yeah, I wanted to know who's writing this. New York Times, okay. This is the caption underneath this picture says Kathy Burnett, who has publicly espoused homophobic and anti-Muslim views, has been propelled by strong debate performances in her personal story. Kristen J. Ethel for the New York Times. I might get in trouble for reading this, I ain't gonna lie, y'all. This is by Tracy Tully, May 13th, 2022. I might just try to break it up as I read it so maybe they don't catch it. Because New York Times, they might come for me. It says, Southampton, Pennsylvania. Kathy Burnett's opposition to abortion could not be more personal. Her mother was raped and gave birth to her at age 12. It wasn't a choice, it was a life, my life, an emotional campaign video starts. So she was raped and gave birth to her at age 12. Wow. It wasn't a choice, it was my life, my life. It was a life, my life.
No, she was born because her mother was raped.
Oh shit, okay. Thank you, bro. Yeah. My brain, I was sitting here like, I'm not reading this right. I'm sitting here like my brain, I'm like trying to get my brain around it. I'm tired. It's almost 4 a.m.
Her mother was.
Yeah, her mother was. That's what it says. Her mother was raped and gave birth to her at age 12. Okay, I was saying that wrong. or reading it wrong. My brain was computing it wrong. So that's what's throwing me off because of the quote. It says it wasn't a choice. It was my life. It was a life, my life. So that quote was apparently from her mom.
No, she's saying that an abortion, if her mother had an abortion because she was raped at age 12, she would
Okay.
not be alive.
Okay.
It wasn't a choice. It was
What?
a life. Her
Okay.
life. My life. I'm alive today because my mother did not make that choice.
Okay. All right. Now it's hitting home. It has hit home. Takes a while for me. I'm kind of slow, y'all. Let me read some more. Miss Burnett, a hard-right conservative, locked in a 7-way Republican primary for an open Pennsylvania Senate seat, is suddenly surging in the polls, statistically tied for first place with 2 ultra-rich men, and one of them has the lone thing more valuable than money or name recognition in the GOP primary, a Trump endorsement. So it'll hurt Trump's brand if she wins because they're going to say Trump don't have the magic no more. As the election approaches on Tuesday, Miss Burnett, 50, a black mother of 2 who has never held office and whose life story has moved many white anti-abortion conservatives, poses a late threat to the 2 presumptive favorites, David McCormick, a retired hedge fund manager, and Dr. Mehmet Oz, a television celebrity endorsed by former President Donald J. Trump. Oh yeah, I saw some of those press whatevers. So where's this election happening? What state is this? Did they say that? Pennsylvania. Okay, so damn, that's pretty big because if it's in Pennsylvania and it's been on my radar because I've been seeing and I haven't seen her and I don't think I've seen David McCormick either, but I have seen the Oz guy. Well, that shows the power of money behind your freaking campaign and like television advertising and all that shit that tells me that she's going to lose because I didn't hear about her, but I have heard about the other guy. And I'm not in Pennsylvania, but if in Pennsylvania, then the majority of people only know. Well, the other guy's the incumbent, and who's the incumbent? You have to know Pennsylvania politics, but I think that the Oz guy most likely is going to win. Maybe because of Donald Trump's endorsement, or maybe not. Maybe just because of television ads. Because I've seen some press on him, and I haven't seen none on the other 2. And I'm way down here in Texas. Let me read some more. It says, Miss Barnett, who has publicly espoused homophobic and anti-Muslim views, has been propelled mainly by her strong debate performances and Iraq's The Richest Story. Not even the news on Thursday that Mr. Trump had questioned elements of her past and declared that only Dr. Oz could defeat Democrats in November seemed to bother her. Wow. So I bet you Trump trolling her, that's going to help. That's going to help her. Like I just said, the internet world is the opposite. So if he said anything about her at all, it's going to bring her on people's radar that she wouldn't even been. Hours after Mr. Trump's statement, Ms. Burnett spoke at a Republican Party dinner. They're coming with long knives at this point, she told the audience in Southampton, about a half-hour drive north of Philadelphia, right? And I had the best day of my life today. Later, talking to reporters who were mainly barred from the event, she said she interpreted Mr. Trump's comments as favorable. The former president, favorable. If she understands the internet, the former president has said that she would never be able to win the general election in November. See, those comments, the internet, the general election in November, but that she had a wonderful future in the Republican Party. So, okay, that's still, yeah. So it's like a backhanded ass freaking like what the hell? Like there goes Trump with his like the way he talks is so like what are you saying, buddy? This article sucks, bro. It's so repetitive. We know that President Trump does not mince words. After he just a quote of him mincing words, she said, "I think the letter was favorable, and I look forward to working with the president." In campaign videos and in front of voters, she explains that she spent the least. Why did they say that in campaign videos and in front of voters? She explains that she spent at least part of her childhood living on a pig farm in southern Alabama, in the one-stop sign town of Nichburg, in a house without insulation, running water, or indoor toilet. Wow. People still live like that? I have to think about that for a minute because I got people up in the country. They don't live like that. They up in the country, but they have indoor fucking plumbing and insulation. And I have people up in a area. It's literally in the country, and they said one stop sign. It's like that over there. I mean, they might have some more, but yeah, it's a town that you literally gonna drive through and don't know that you did drive through it, and it'll be like that too. And you don't have to be driving fast. So, does that mean that they were exaggerating this, or did she really go through that? That's a question mark. Let me read the Doc's comments. He says, her actual political page. I'm going to pull it up. 45 is playing a long game and has been since the early 2000s. I think so too. I used to live in Clarence, LA. My house was the one on the left. Oh, what? And it's something that you sent me? A picture or something? Let me go back to this article, even though I'm kind of scared to read it because of the New York Times. But they say, but this country allowed me to be able to create a different narrative for myself, she told Republicans at a campaign forum on Wednesday held by a group that is dissatisfied with Pennsylvania's mainstream GOP and hopes to elect a slate of more conservative candidates to the state committee. They want more conservative, more conservative. So what's her story? I guess we'll go to her page. Let me read a little bit more. It says, but that country is about to come to a close, she warned in a sing-song stump speech that blended the confidence of the pulpit and the intimacy of the confessional. So we need good people now to stand up and begin to fight for the greatest nation that has ever existed. So that is that rhetoric can definitely get people going. Let's see. She opposes gun control and abortion rights and proposes limiting the federal government's involvement in the healthcare industry. She has ridiculed, basically that means deregulation of the healthcare industry and deregulation of the gun industry. And she says she opposes abortion rights. So that means against Roe versus Wade. She has ridiculed the Muslim faith in online posts and promotes Mr. Trump's lie that the 2020 election was stolen in a 2010 essay published online by the Canada Free Press. She urged that the gay rights movement, which she called immoral and perversive, sought domination and should be thwarted, citing the Bible as justification. This lady is scary, bruh. This is scarier than Trump. That's scary. That's scary. This lady's scary. She said, make no mistake about it, homosexuality is a targeted group in the Bible right along with cheats, drunkards, liars, foul mouths, extortionists, robbers, and any other habitual sin, she wrote. Hmm. So, but what does Christ say? Uh, he who hasn't sinned, throw the first stone. I wonder about how she sweeps around her front yard and backyard. I wonder what skeleton she has in her closet. People that talk like this are always the people who like project this image of like holier than thou, and they never are. We're all human. So I guarantee you she's got some stuff she does that she's wouldn't want people to know that she does because has this image. Talk to her kids or families or spouse. In an interview, she said she had no plan to move toward the center if she wins next week. So basically, she's giving them what they want. So they want more conservative, hard conservative. And then she's a black woman. So the image politics plays in. So the black Republican idea and the whole thing is so perfect. Let's see. Oh, the rest of that is bullshit. Your article was trash, New York Times, if you're listening. That was a trash article. I mean, I did get some information out of it, but y'all suck. Y'all supposed to be the best. Okay, let me go to Doc's stuff that he sent. So what is this? A link to her. Okay, this is her website. So let's look at her website together, y'all. Shoot, look, I got a pop-up that says BurnettForSenate.com wants to know your location. Allow or block. What should I do? What should I do? Allow or block. She wants to know my location. I don't know what to do. Okay, so she's got the American flag. It looks pretty cool. Like, this is a very common, these images, they spend a lot of money on this to create these. And it's funny because they all end up looking about the same. So this is a very common way to, this to make you look conservative right there, the American flag. And then with the colors, red, white, and blue. They all do this. Both sides do this, actually. Very, very common. I went down a rabbit hole on this shit having to relate it with this, and it's really, I don't really want to talk about it because it's probably going to bore you all to death, but it's interesting to me because the details related to them coming up with these logos is interesting. It says Kathy Burnett wants to preserve our country. Okay. On day one, healthcare, secure borders, medical freedom, foreign policy, parental choice, jobs. And in the middle, it has a beautiful black family. She has a lace front.
Each of those topics, you can click to go into her policies.
Yeah, that's what I was about to do. Freaking, so yeah, husband and wife, 2 kids, perfect little American family, right? 2.5 kids. I bet you they have a.
Don't spiral. You're already looking for ways to go negative. All you have to do is click on day one and start from there, and we'll be done with this topic soon.
Okay, yes, sir. That's my producer, y'all. Keep me on point. It says, once elected, starting day one, I pledge to protect individual liberty. It says, I don't know if I want to read all. Let me see. I'm not going to read all of these. I'm going to read the topic on all of them, but this first one I'm definitely going to read because she says, Okay, the first one is protect individual liberty. Our rights come from our creator, not from government. I oppose censorship, free speech zones, and all other efforts to curb the exercise of our rights. Election integrity is central to defending liberty, and I will defend our right to free and fair elections. My office will be transparent. Constituents will know what we are doing and what we have read and considered bills before voting on them. Constituents will know that what we are doing and that we have read and considered bills before voting on them. I think that's a heavy little that's a promise that she's not gonna be able to keep right there. Moving on, the next one, just the end of that, where she said read and considered bills before voting on them, because we know how Congress goes. Sometimes they'll give it to them right before, and it'll be like 33,000 pages. So no way in hell they read that shit. Their staff ain't even read that shit. Nobody's read that shit. Number 2, it says protect fundamental rights. The Second Amendment preserves constitutional rights and the right to self-defense. I oppose gun control legislation and will pursue national concealed carry reciprocity. Can't read today. I oppose civil forfeiture and will seek to curb its practice. Yeah, I don't like civil forfeiture, so in the first line she said, under protect individual liberty, I guess I should have said this. When she said our rights come from the creator, I agree with that, not from the government. And then she said I oppose censorship, I agree with that. Free speech zones, I don't know what that means, but and all other efforts to curb the exercise of our rights, I agree with that. Election integrity is central to defending liberty, and I will defend our right to free and fair elections. I agree with that. But see, that one is loaded on some political stuff saying that, the elections be rigged and shit. But whenever you go down that line, you're not talking about campaign contributions. You're not talking about lobbyists. You know what I'm saying? You're not talking about taking money out of politics. So if you're not talking about that, then that line is bullshit. And when she says constitutional rights and gun control, that's just food for the base, because that's just what you say as a conservative. And he said, pursue a national concealed carry reciprocity. So basically, you saying that she wants to pursue something that you could carry concealed, nationally, which we don't have because it's state by state. But that's kind of weird when you're talking about the constitutions and state rights and being conservative. So that's playing both sides right there. But I like
technically, firearms are under Second Amendment. So a national firearm policy, a national carry policy is within the constitutional boundaries. It's not, it is state, but national can say, well, here are the minimum limits. Everyone can do this within the United States. You figure out what they can do within your own state.
That's what I'm saying. So it would kick it back to the states, and the states could say, no, we don't want people here to have concealed guns. Unless they're like law enforcement or something. So then, that's what I'm saying. So if you're trying to push for it nationally, that kind of pushes against the idea of the conservatism and the states' rights, because you would have to force the state.
It's a national right to carry a firearm. Now, what firearms can be carried and all that's what we have to agree upon. Now, does it have to be concealed carry or open carry? I've got no problem with a person carrying a gun on their hip in any state, no matter what. People carrying it under their jacket, concealed, that I have a problem with, especially if they're untrained or, you know what I mean.
Yeah, this topic is touchy as hell, so I don't really want to say where I fall on it, but there's gonna be states that's not gonna want people to have concealed carry or whatever, or any kind of weapons. It's like it
Hey,
won't be an argument.
I'm only speaking towards the conversation, not hardcore beliefs right now.
Okay,
We get
yeah,
into that discussion once we get the conversation open.
yeah, yeah, right. So yeah, so but what I'm saying is though it's still a contradiction because nationally, if you say they can conceal carry nationally, then that's going to be a pressing on those states. This and if the states can't say no, we don't want people in our state with concealed weapons unless they're law enforcement. You get what I'm saying? There'll definitely be states that won't be with it. So if it's a national thing, then it's going to be pushing against the states. Number 3, she says, defend the right to life. Life begins at conception. Every life is precious and possesses inherent dignity. I will promote legislation that bans late-term abortions, bars the use of federal funds to deliver and promote abortion, and protects organizations and institutions from mandates which infringe on their religious liberties. So, one thing about this topic that even though we talked about this topic really heavily, one part, because I was thinking about this, one part we didn't really touch on is birth control, like birth control pills or whatever, IUDs or whatever the hell it is. So the thing is, um, you have companies that are religious company, and like, okay, the insurance is not going to cover any kind of birth control stuff because we don't agree with that, you know, or you work for a company or whatever the hell is going on. So the girl can't. They limit access to the girl's ability to to have birth control as far as contraception and whatnot. Don't educate them on sex, and then if they get pregnant, freaking they can't have an abortion. Do y'all see like how it's like? I think it's bigger. Like it's a whole cycle because they bring back making abortion illegal, and then they bring back all the contraception. So then we back to the 1800s. But that's funny. She said life begins at conception, but then she said I will promote legislation that bans late term abortions. So that's kind of saying, oh, it's okay with early term abortions. But before that, she said life begins at conception, and every life is precious and possesses inherent dignity. Anyways, moving on. Protect our national sovereignty. The essence of a national sovereignty is control of national borders, and we are stronger and better for structured, organized immigration. I will
I
promote.
dropped a comment on 3.
Okay. I will promote our business interests and those of legal immigrants, pursuing strong border and internal enforcement actions. My office will insist on long-term plans to tackle the border crisis, address systemic problems that encourage illegal immigration, and confront the national security and public safety threats of unchecked smuggling. So basically, this one is like meat. The essence of national sovereignty. I like what she says. The essence of national sovereignty is control of national borders. We're stronger and better for structured and organized immigration. I can't argue with that. But she's basically just giving them red meat because, like I say, that border argument is just a political tool. Nobody, nobody really believes this stuff. It's just like it's just meat. Doc says, life begins at conception, open for debate. Every life is precious and possesses inherent dignity. Absolutely. I will promote legislation that bans late-term abortions. Yes. Bars the use of federal funds to deliver and promote abortion. Yes. And protect organizations and institutions from mandates which infringe on their religious liberties. Yes. So, but you understand that last one, and protects organizations and institutions from mandates which infringe on their religious beliefs, can lead to people not getting birth control and stuff like that, because that's what that means. Because they're infringing on their religious beliefs by using birth control.
On the other side of that, if you work for Planned Parenthood and it is against your religious belief to offer contraceptive, then you don't belong at Planned Parenthood. That you can't go into a job that you know you're going to have to do things against your moral beliefs and then say, I won't do it because my moral belief. Because it's your choice to accept that job. That is your choice. That is your will. And I'm sorry, it is okay to be fired for your religious or moral belief because you are using it to not do the job duties that are expected of you when you were hired in the first place.
Yeah, but that's not how it works. That's the opposite of the argument. How it works is the people force people to, not, like I say, not be able to have a contraception and shit like that. It could be Chick-fil-A. What is it? Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A is a religious company. They're not open on Sundays. What if Chick-fil-A said none of their employees could use their insurance for birth controls or anything like that?
They already did that.
See?
That I don't know if it was that company or another one, but that is one of the things about 4 years ago. You should probably look up. I don't know how that went in Supreme Court. I think that went badly for the companies. But yeah, there was and I believe the ruling was if you are a publicly shared company, you do not have the ability to say religious or moral beliefs. That's the same way they made Coca-Cola start paying taxes back in the day because they used to be owned by the Mormon church and were not taxed because of it.
Yeah, that's some bullshit. That's just another way to dodge taxes. So that's bullshit. They shouldn't. I think the main thing that'll fix all the damn problems with the damn economy, GDP, the fucking budget is just collect the taxes that's right there on the books, the stuff that they're supposed to have been collecting. Close the loopholes. Really, really simple. And then money would just be flooding in the system. They say everybody's going to move away. Bullshit. They can't. They got businesses here. They'll just move the businesses. Bullshit.
As long as there's money to be made, people will stay.
Yeah, they're still going to be able to make money. They're just going to have to pay some more in taxes. And they'll probably just freaking take that out on the employees anyways. Hire fewer people or pay them less or whatever to balance out the difference. And at the end of the day, it won't make no real difference to their bottom line.
No, just raise the taxes on the products. I mean, after all,
the prices, yeah.
The end users understand it's because of all the taxes and stuff that we have to raise prices and everything. So it's not us to be mad at, the corporate people, it's the government.
Well, the government and the corporate people are intertwined. I was going to say something, but I lost it. Let me read some more.
Say, only if you believe the dark side of Twitter.
Yeah. It says the next one, number 5, is restore energy independence. America has been a significant energy exporter, and it is in our interest to leave all energy options on the table as we pursue environmental goals. Energy independence is crucial to security, essential to preventing international affairs, and central to economic development. It makes no sense to squander our abundant energy resources so China and India can ramp up their use of coal. I will promote clean nuclear and fossil fuel options. That just messed my head up right there. Clean nuclear and fossil fuel options. So I guess some of the nuclears could be clean, but how can the fossil fuel options be clean? Alongside renewable energy research and development. And why is she touching on this topic anyway? This is like some I want to be the president topic right here because she's just going for a seat in the Senate in Pennsylvania. How much would, this really important to her, her getting elected or whatever? Like, is she really going to be doing something related to this and her, and,
This is a checklist of the common questions that are asked of anyone in politics. So she's just doing the top 10. Hey, here's my 10 first day. Here's what I'm going to do going into office.
Well, number 6 says, remain true to my oath, root out and punish corruption. Conflicts of interest undermine our right to honest government. Those who serve in U.S. government must be subject to the highest standards of conduct and should suffer serious consequences for enriching themselves from their positions. I wonder if she really fucking stands on that. I will pursue, because I'll vote for her if she does this. I will pursue strengthened ethics rules for those who are in government, and I will not be manipulated by special interests or foreign actors. My husband and I will not hold or trade in individual stocks, and I will only invest in mutual funds, thereby removing the self-interest investment motivations that corrupt others. I will serve only 2 terms in the Senate, the term for which I am seeking election 1 additional term. I think those are promises she's not going to be able to uphold, just like I said earlier. Yeah, she's not going to be able to do none of that. Not even the 2 terms part. Because I think that once she get in there, she's going to be like, okay, yeah, I'm going to run again, Oh, yeah, I did say I was only going to do 2 terms. So how much do you think you can really get done in 2 terms? Well, I guess that's a long time in the Senate, right? That's 12 years.
2 terms in the Senate, and then maybe drop to the House.
Right.
And then, I can go back to the Senate because I did my 2 terms, but I didn't promise I wouldn't do 2 more.
Yeah.
And
try to run for president.
Now I'm 62 years old and am a single black mother Republican. Holy shit. She beat Hillary down a fucking heartbeat.
That's what I was about to say. Run for president.
She'd be up there. She'd be right in the junkyard scrap for fucking president with AOC. She'd beat the hell out of her.
That's what I'm saying. So that's what So that's I already hear.
By the way, just to scare everyone listening right now, AOC is eligible to become president or vice president in 2024. Be afraid.
Well, I think they would have to primary Joe Biden. Maybe not a bad idea. So, okay, who would have the ticket? If you would put AOC as the VP, who's the head of the ticket to primary Biden?
Michelle Obama.
Well, I think that would work. But I don't think they're. See, the Democrats get paid. The Democrats get paid to lose, so they wouldn't even do nothing as smart as that. I don't think. Not that they don't know these things, but that they get paid to lose.
That's it. Not in the game, not beginning. They play it out like they did. If Michelle Obama had gone vice president to Hillary, there would have been no Trump.
I agree. I completely agree. I don't think that when you talk to Michelle, her interviews, she says she don't have no political ambitions. So, and they rich as fuck. They probably living like a honeymoon life now, as Obama is not president no more, and he's got all these connections, and they just call him in every now and then for this and that, and he get paid all out the ass for speaking, and so does she. So fucking, why would they want to, Why would she want to?
They went from a personal value of 300 to 400,000 when he got elected to $32 million worth today.
Yeah, they got the movie.
But 2 years ago,
They probably they're probably going to go down in history as the most commercial president, husband and wife duo, because they have the movie, they got books that they wrote.
hey, I still argue that Clinton was one of the first brother was actually the first brother president, but Obama was the first celebrity president.
Yes. And that's pretty much what led to Trump. So so that's a good topic right there. So
And
that's where we
Slick Willie was a smooth brother, man, from Arkansas. I mean,
yeah.
am I wrong?
No, I can't lie, bro. I voted for him. I saw him play the saxophone on the Arsenio Hall show, and I was like, this dude is cool as hell. Man, they're so good at what they do, aren't they? Um. So yeah, so maybe Clinton was the first celebrity president. So, but it looks like we got a string of celebrity presidents. Nah, we got to even go further back because Ronald Reagan was a freaking. So, anyways, let's not even go down that road. So, but um, I want to speculate some more about Michelle Obama. You said Michelle and AOC. So, like you say, I think that would work and they would win. But I don't think that Michelle has any. And then how would it? Let's say they did want Michelle to do it. How would they motivate her to do so?
We're not talking about housing if. We're just talking about dream candidates and stuff. I mean,
Yeah, yeah, but that's just
Michelle wouldn't do it, and neither would him, because they're not that left anymore. They don't want to be part of that anymore. They just
yeah,
want to take their money, party on the fucking beach, and be left the fuck alone.
and that's what I think. And that's the whole Democratic Party,
And
and
I'm good with that.
they're not left. They've been shifting more and more to the right, more and more and more and more to the right, and even
No, they've stayed the same. The party has shifted more to the left.
that's what. No, the party hasn't shifted to the left. I don't think so. I think the party has shifted to the right, and also the Republican Party has shifted to the right. Everything has moved to the right. The center is on the right. Um, what she say? Number 7: end government imposed income stagnation and wealth inequality. I'm not gonna read all of that because how the hell is she gonna do that? Promote peace through strength. Restore healthcare autonomy. Promote American agriculture. That's a good one. Let's read a bit of that. That's number 10. Agriculture is one of our most important economic sectors, and it's time for Pennsylvania to again have a senator on the Agricultural Committee. I will represent Pennsylvania's farmers and recognize that our contributions to the nation's food supply are crucial to our success as a nation. My office will be the voice of Pennsylvania when I go to Washington. So there she goes, speaking to specific Pennsylvania stuff. So that's good. And agriculture, that's good. So, you know, that's good. That sounds great to me, you know. And I think people would like to hear that. And that's the kind of stuff that'll get her elected, because when you want that local stuff, it's going to be the Pennsylvania people that's going to put her in there. Because, like I said, some of those stuff was like she already trying to run for president. So So it's like she's setting herself up for that, for in the future, I think. Because some of those points that she made aren't relevant, I don't think. But they are relevant if she's building a brand to run for president. Eventually. Healthcare. McCarran-Ferguson Act is as relevant today as it was when it was adopted. It declares that the continued regulation of taxation by the several states of the business of insurance is in the public interest, and that silence on the part of Congress shall not be construed to impose any barrier to regulation of taxation of such businesses by the several states. It stated that Form then Act, no act of Congress shall be construed to invalidate, impair, or supersede any law enacted by any state for the purpose of regulating the business of insurance. That was word salad. Okay, this button is not very good button. Because she wasn't saying anything. Let's move on. Secure borders. Oh, can I scroll like this? Oh, I can. Cool. Secure borders. Immigration. Protecting our borders to include invasion of drug cartels and uncontrolled illegal immigration. Well, you already know what this is going to say. I don't think I need to read it. Bottom line is that broadcasting to the world that the U.S. is not serious about immigration has created this crisis. Making matters worse, Congress has constitutionally mandated a role in setting and funding immigration policy. It has too long sat on the sidelines and allowing the White House to act unilaterally and often unconstitutionally. Senators should take their oversight role seriously and stick their noses into executive branch activities. Pennsylvanians have a right to influence what happens in our country, and we have a right to an immigration policy that works. Let's see what her little provisions are. She says, first thing first policies. This is under immigration. Various amnesty provisions should be proposed by the administration and Congress. But before we talk about amnesty for unlawful present aliens, we must secure the border with a wall, technology, and personnel. Okay. Number 2, trafficking has serious consequences in our everyday lives. We need to stop these at the border and persecute them here. Attorneys and federal law enforcement take their cue from the White House, but Congress controls the budget. Trafficking investigations, prosecutions, and long jail sentences should be a priority. I agree with that one. Getting away with fraud encourages it. Those who enter or attempt to remain here through fraud should be barred from retaining status in the U.S. This Congress immigration legislation ignores fraud, encouraging it rather than making the consequences serious. Cutting those will be immigrations off. That makes me want to vomit that one. Deportations are down nearly 60%, despite the claim that criminal alien removal is a priority. Telling the administration and Congress haven't done anything to address the backlog problems with immigration judges. Criminal aliens should be the number one priority for apprehension, detention. Number 5, Citizen and Immigration Services is supposed to efficiently and effectively determine who qualifies for immigration benefits, but the agency is a failure and Congress has not held it accountable. They did a good job on processing those Ukraine immigrants, though. USCIS director is now the Secretary of Homeland Security, rewarded with more power and influence for failing to manage his agency. Those are strong words. This is Congress' fault because it throws money at the agency but leaves the agency alone to manage its affairs. This must stop, and the right place to start is to strip USCIS of its fee-funded agency status. For nearly 20 years, the agency has been permitted to underperform, and Congress must provide oversight. I don't mind putting Congress oversight on there. Among the more significant problems with immigration is that Congress has not provided guidance. Instead of a narrow, discrete bills that solve immediate problems, Congress looks to giant, unworkable bills that go nowhere. My highest priority will be a bill that deals with the southern border. Southern border, a combination of physical barriers, meaning a wall, technology solutions, wall, manpower solutions can make the border secure. Bunch of people with guns on a wall. That's the image. Instead of seriously discussing this, Congress permits the administration to spend billions paying to not build sections of a wall authorized by statute. Similarly, Congress has long known that H-2A visa program does not serve the industries which suffer chronic labor shortages that it was designed to serve, but no remedy has been seriously proposed. Immigration problems deserve hearing in narrow, discrete bills that represent compromise rules. She said that earlier. So one part of this is actually touches on the real thing. What did she say? Similarly, Congress has long known that H-2A visa program does not serve the industries which suffer chronic labor shortages. That it was designed to serve, but no remedy has been seriously proposed. You know, that comment right there kind of touches on what the whole thing is really about. The border with the people migrant, they're just like seasonal workers is what they really are. Anyways, let me move on. The Remain in Mexico policy was crafted to discourage caravans of foreign nationals from coming here in anticipation of easy asylum approvals. It stages them in Mexico while they make their claims rather than turning them loose in the U.S., because that is absolutely what happens. Both the Trump administration and the U.S. Supreme Court concluded that it's an effective way to manage this problem. It's time for Congress to formally authorize the program. Just like earlier when she was talking about the wall. And the wall, I covered some shit about the fucking wall. Some parts you can't even... Let me stop, because anybody that knows the fucking wall is not a thing that's going to have any impact on anything at all. It's just going to be a giveaway to private contractors. It says Congress should also ingrain the first safe country rule in statute. Foreign nationals who find haven in third country should remain there while they pursue benefits in the U.S., not be invited to enter the U.S. while we figure out if they can have a claim. One of the 1.7 million unlawful present aliens who were encountered at the southwest border in 2021, over 1 million of those encountered were from countries other than Mexico. By far the highest total for non-Mexican nationals. Most of the encounters were people from the Northern Triangle countries of El Salvador, Honduras, Guatemala. Yet the U.S. provides over $1 billion in government aid to these three countries combined for a variety of initiatives, including energy, clean water, financial service, COVID, transportation, infrastructure, education, etc. Why do we continue to send financial aid to these countries if their citizens are relocating in record numbers to the United States? Congress controls the purse. It's time for Congress to redirect these funds in stabilizing our border crisis. As long as the United States remains under the state of national emergency concerning COVID, Title 42 must be strictly enforced. Title 42 was invoked under the previous administration and is in public health order allowing border control to expel migrants immediately in an effort to control domestic spread of coronavirus.
I dropped a comment about
I don't think I can read any more on this one. Oh, it's the end. Good God, thank you. What did you say? Walls were not about blocking people. It is about guiding people to the path of least resistance, making it easier and cheaper. That's not true either, bro. That's not even true. That's not true either.
Yeah. It is. There's a science of wall. Come on, man.
That's true what you're saying about the walls.
Anthropology.
I know about the science of walls.
What I'm talking about.
I played what's the name of that game?
On long borders, like the Mongol borders, walls, low barriers, and things like that were used to guide them into areas where it
They could
was.
die in the desert. And they make people not give them water. It's true about the
Okay,
guiding.
you can't leave caches of water out there because you don't know if they're poisoned by some stupid people. And here's what the people don't understand: if they leave them out there, if the border patrol is said, "Hey, we found these water, we left it out there," and then someone gets sick or dies off of that water, it is now the border patrol's responsibility. That's the thing about the law. People don't look at situations like that. We put so much responsibility on how bad we are about the situation that we're not, they can't take that responsibility. So what are they supposed to do? I mean, swap it out for some water that they bought so they know. They still have to fucking destroy it because they don't know.
They don't
That's the
have to just.
reality. And no offense, as long as there's rape fucking trees, I am against all of this shit, dude. We are going to fight. I will stand on this hill and die on it as long as I know there are still rape trees down at the fucking border.
And that's what I'm saying, though. But see, making them immigrants, putting up the border walls, all this really does is make it easier for these people to be persecuted. But it doesn't really make it harder for them to get here or move back and forth. You know what I'm saying? They're going to find ways. It's different ways. They can climb the fence. They go around the fence. They go under the fence. They take a boat. They take a plane.
Okay, so why bother about vaccinations? Because people are going to get sick anyway. Why bother with seatbelt laws? Because people are going to die in traffic accidents anyway. Why bother making laws against corporations taking advantage of against original people, normal people? Because they're going to do it anyway. Why bother? That's what you're saying.
That's a good
Don't
argument.
worry, be happy. What the fuck, man?
No, that's a good argument. But what I'm saying is they're creating this situation. You said, why let the corporations prey on these people? Making them immigrants, illegal immigrants, allows these corporations to prey on these people. That's the
No,
setup.
no, no. You just read a separate comment into this statement. You know what you did. No, no.
Well, I'm adding on because we talked about this immigration thing for a long time. We talked about it for a week, and that's my overall point for that week was the first off, the southern border is just a political tool. Second, these people are this seasonal migration thing has happened forever, and that's just what it does. And these people also ebb and flow back and forward. It's not just a going
Okay.
in, coming in,
No,
and
no one
then
is no one is talking about seasonal migration. We're talking about the caravans and the bullshit. We're talking about Haitians. We're talking about Middle Easterners. We're talking about Somalians all crossing our southern border. People that all from all over, and they're coming across the southern border. Say,
yeah,
hey, we're going to give you a free place to stay. We're going to let you
but that's how it
get back
works. You
in.
have a
We're going to
boogeyman.
show you around. Now, all of a sudden, we are a migratory point because everyone thinks they're going to get free shit when they get here.
The result of it is the majority of the people that get persecuted as a result of these policies are regular old folks. These people are not criminals. The policies is what make them into criminals. They haven't really
Okay,
broken any laws.
then tell me why the black communities have so much problems. Because the individual criminals bring the problems to the community. Because the criminals start problems, the police come there, and it becomes a problem for the community. Okay, so what is the difference now? Now it's just in a different color of brown, isn't it?
That it's really the same art. It's really the same thing because the ghettos are created. This
But where do
perception
we
of
stop
the
it? Do we stop it before it happens, or do we let it happen and then have the same fucking problem with a new color of brown?
no, you look at the true roots of the problem and you try to address that. You can't just keep putting band-aids on a bullet wound. It's not gonna fix the problem. The
But the
gate, the
problem is
wall,
not
is not gonna fix the problem.
the problem is not in our country. The problem is in the other countries.
That's not
They are
true.
accepting that, oh, we don't have enough money, we don't have any work, so we can come there, we're refugees, because they're not. Not
No,
on
the
the
way the
world
United States.
standard.
That's why.
They pass seven embassies they can seek refuge at before they get to the American gate. And they
That's
do not.
That's why
Tell me
I
about that.
covered the banana wars and all of that. The United States leeching on all of these countries, especially the ones south of the border, going all the way into South America, is the reason why these conditions are the way that they are, and that's the same reason why the United States is so rich. So this is the thing. So we can't
They
forget
got their
this.
governments back. They fucking screwed their own people. They stole. They allowed criminals to take control of their government. Oh, we don't want America there anymore. Okay, fine. We're gone. What fucking happens? Oh, please, we want to come to America now.
That's the perception. The
No,
CIA puts these puppet
no,
governments.
man. That is
That
not perception. You have to understand. Have you talked with your back of the house people at all?
I do. I talk to
Most
them
of
all the
them
time.
hate these people coming across the freaking border because they're coming here for free fucking shit and a chance that they other people work hard for. And I don't feel the pity that you do because they have life so hard where they are because they're so willing to run away, not do anything. Why? Because their government will frigging shoot them.
Not all
Why?
of the
There's no jobs. Why?
because of the United States is leeching
No,
the shit
not be, are we
out of the
are we leeching
resources.
or did we leave them to what they did we give them what they want and do they are their own people fucking screwing them? Their own
No,
people are screwing them.
no. And that's the thing of the third world being created, like underdeveloped countries being created, Haiti being created in a way that is just a mess. What I'm saying is there ain't no coincidence on this stuff.
I'm talking
Sanctions, we talk about
today,
Venice
not 60 years ago, not 50 years ago. I'm talking today. You keep
today.
telling me, hey, what is going on today? Okay, today they
Today,
have ownership over their own countries. Today they have the thing going on. And guess what? Communism, crime, cartels, criminal element. That is
today,
that is all the
Venezuela.
Americans' fault. You're saying all of South America's problem is ours. We should take them. Then why don't we
No,
just take South America?
no, that's not what I'm saying. But you know, not all of their problems. You know what I'm saying? But look, specifically Venezuela, all of the sanctions on Venezuela, that's the United States. You know what I'm saying? Cuba is another example. Guatemala is a mess as a result of the United States. Those Panama, Honduras, fucking El Salvador, all a mess as a result of the United States. Today, not 60 years ago, today. They want to always use Venezuela as an example. But if Venezuela would be doing fine if the United States confiscated all of the Valeros and shit because Venezuela owned the Valeros. So as a part of their sanctions and shit, they froze all the assets that they had outside of Venezuela in in the United States and shit. They got sanctions on Venezuela. They got boats out there, military ships to enforce these sanctions. So therefore, they can't get stuff in and out. This is a result of the United States. So if a Venezuelan person, specifically Venezuelan, is coming and traveling through to try to get some of the fruits of United States,
they take 80% of every bit of money that comes into that country. People from Venezuela that send money home to their people, they send $100, their people get $20. That's why we have restrictions on them. Because everything that should be going to the people goes to the government. Instead of saying, what are we doing to them? You should be asking why. What is it about? You said Valero and all that stuff. They took over Valero. Do you know why? Because they took over 3 oil refineries and said, hey, we're the government now. We're taking over this. This is all ours now.
Because
and
they shared it with the
then
people.
We took over Valero.
Because they gave it to the people. They decentralized.
Then how come, if they gave it to the people, then how come the people of the starving and the elite class are eating freaking caviar?
Well, there's issues. They do have issues, but the people there...
No, don't give me issues. Shit.
Listen.
You are promoting, you're saying that we are fucking them over while people are starving and dying and stuff like that. You're saying they're the good guys, yet they're starving 80% of the freaking people. Come on, man.
They have free health care over there. They pay cheaper prices for gas and all of that shit as a result of those monies going to the government. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, they have free health care, but they can't fucking feed themselves. They have no toilet paper on the shelves.
Because of the sanctions of the United States and the nations.
No, because of the government. If they can get free health care but not food, then that's the government having a problem, isn't it?
Oh,
they can do all that. They're in South America. There is so much food in South America in their own country.
The stuff that they don't have on the shelves is as a result of the sanctions. It's not the government. They can't get the stuff because they can't get anything shipped in.
I call bullshit.
Look it up. Look up the sanctions on Venezuela.
No, I have on both sides. And the argument leans way away from Venezuela elite because they are fucking their people over. And now that China and Russia are both coming in and investing there, it's going to get really interesting.
So what impact do you think that the sanctions on Venezuela has on the people of Venezuela?
Well, the elite doesn't give a damn because they get everything they need because they don't share it with the people. They're getting everything they need, but the people are not. It doesn't matter what the sanctions. It seems like the people in Russia, despite sanctions, are getting everything they need because the government is making sure they do, despite the fact that it's a communist government. And I guess that's really weird of me promoting that in a communist government kind of way. But Venezuela is not a communist government. It is a whatever monetary dictatorship of the elite people. I don't know exactly what it's called, but yeah, it is definitely not communism anymore. Which is why one of the reasons why I resist communism in all its form. I don't mind social programs and infrastructure when done reasonably.
Well, what you're talking about is the reason why Venezuela is going through what they're going through is because it's the leftover Cold War and the image of Venezuela being communist. And you're right, they are not communist at all. So, but they have this perception of it left over from McCarthyism, which we was talking about earlier. And that's the whole reason why they, you know, and and you're saying, okay, the elite get their stuff, and that's fair. But that's kind of beside the point, because the reason why they can't get stuff is because of because of the sanctions. Of course, if you're rich as fuck, you're gonna be able to pay for some private boat to bring you your stuff, but that's not gonna be enough stuff for all the people of the country.
So it's okay for the private leaders of Venezuela to take care of themselves, screw all their people, but corporate leaders and billionaires are bad. Okay, cool.
I'm not. I'm absolutely not saying that. You know, I
Well,
think you're missing it.
I'm getting your barriers on this. I mean,
Because
they're a downtrodden people, so they get
you,
all the benefits and breaks in the world. It doesn't matter if it's a rich guy, because that's always going to be bad. Oh well, we got some poor people, and they've got some rich people over them, but that's okay, because since there's 80% of them are poor, that's a bad thing, right? Oh, and they're people of color.
I'm never speaking on good and bad, but um the you're saying that the people, the rich people, they could get their stuff, and that's fucking their people. How is that fucking over their people? Again, it goes back to the reason why they have to do it the way they have to do it is because
They're
of the
getting it
sanctions.
in mass. How are they paying for it? Off of the 80% of the money that they're taking from the friggin' people.
Because there's an
They are
aristocracy.
financing their lives. That is not socialism, and it is not good, and there's no value, there's no honor, there's no bullshit in that. No matter how you
No,
try to look at it, that's a
no.
bunch of fucking rich ass. That is what people complain when I hear people go, oh, the billionaires rule the world. No, that's Venezuela. The rich rule the friggin' world. There's a lot more going on other than that. Let's get fucking real.
There's I can't really argue with that part of what you're saying. There's no system that's perfect. There's definitely aristocracy, or whatever you want to call it, group, elite group, or whatever you want to call it in Venezuela. That is true. That is fact. But that's still kind of beside the point. You know what I'm saying? They and the perception that Venezuela has is all propaganda. You know what I'm saying? It really is. You can't get a good perception of Venezuela here in the United States. There's nowhere to get that information.
I get my point of view from talking to Venezuelans.
Okay. Well, one part of that really bothers me when people make fun of.
Guarantee you've got at least one of them. A matter of fact, if he's still there, I know you have at least one of Venezuelan at
They
Outback.
they but I hear you.
Talk to them. Ask them about what
I
their country is and
I
how it is.
I
Ask them, when you send $200 back, they get 40, $50. They don't get it all.
I talked to them, but I maybe never talked about this specific detail that you're talking about. But again, this is they get health care and all kinds of shit that we don't get. The social
Do
programs.
you know why the government there gives them free health care? Because if they keep them healthier, they can work harder. They can make more money for the government.
And they also get money, right? Don't they get a monthly amount based on whatever the oil is or some shit like that? The oil prices. They get like a amount. The perception of Venezuela is
Again, they get 20% of the amount that we're told they do, because 80% of even the dividend funds go to the government.
The perception of Venezuela is a result of years of McCarthyism, Cold War, anti-communism propaganda.
My vision of Venezuela comes from when they forcibly by arms went into the industries of several major corporations, took them over by guns, killing people, holding people hostages, and turned the whole companies, millions and millions of dollars worth of refineries and drilling and all of that, over to the government. That's why Valeros were taken down. That was in retaliation of them taking over the drilling and refinery companies that were sending all of the oil to the Valero um, convenience stores and stuff like that.
Yeah,
And I'm not saying anyone is right or wrong. All I'm saying is here we can talk shit about our government and stuff like that. There they get killed for it. They have free health care there, but they also takes 80% of their salary to get the calories to go to work. There is no ability to thrive, succeed, to move up in that country.
So, okay, let's take the argument back to you said, okay, let's say they are oppressing their people and they're taking 80% of the money all the time. What gives the United States the right to, police these people and sanction them and cut off their trade and
no, they're saying we won't do business with you until you treat your people right. And you haven't even noticed. You haven't even looked. In the last 10 years, tons and tons of things have been opened up toward Venezuelan trade. And at no time has humanitarian aid, medical, food, or anything like that ever been sanctioned or stopped from going to them, except for a couple of 2-3 year period. I covered all of this in your last time you went off about Venezuela. I literally looked all this up and showed all the fucking numbers.
I got lost. I ain't gonna lie. Because I had something, but back up the argument. That's what it was. Yes, back up the argument. What justifies? Okay, so we make the people of Venezuela suffer more because the government is making the people of Venezuela suffer.
How are we making them suffer by not trading with them?
It's not just the United States. They're not letting them trade with. They hardly have any trade. They got their fucking sanctions. They got fucking ships out there blocking fucking trade, literally.
No, they don't. There's not been ships out there in 50 years.
That is not true.
Take a look at when the blockade ended. When did the Venezuelan blockade end? Oh, wait. I was trying to Alexa that shit because I'm tired of typing.
Yeah, I'm getting tired. I'm gonna wrap it soon. But yeah, it's almost 5 a.m. But like I say, what gives the United States the right? Why the United States don't sanction Saudi Arabia or Israel? What gives them the right anyways? What if another country felt like the United States was not doing its people right and felt like they needed to sanction the United States?
Oh yeah, we ended the full blockade in 1903, but that's no big deal, I guess.
Full blockade. What? I need more details. Are there any ships out there?
No,
Where's that? Where's that data?
that was been for sure from about the 50s or 60s from the last time I looked. I've got to do a deep dive to do more than that, and I would
Yeah,
really prefer to enjoy my buzz.
yeah. I was gonna say, are you gonna be on the show tomorrow?
I will do my best.
If you can make it, bring that, and we can talk about it. Bring some stuff because I don't really have nothing to show anyways for tomorrow. I'm just gonna kind of wing it. I was busy this week.
Yeah, I'll see if I can do a quick Venezuela versus U.S. from both sides.
And I like it better, like when we
You know
argue.
me. You know me. I'm on both sides of it.
News networks are not even getting clicks like that. So this shows like there's an opportunity for this, what we're doing here on this show.